tablets when I walk in, there ain't no skylarking. When I tell them say you're dirty, yeah. You don't know this is Sean Paul, the girls them over at tell them say yo, keep it locked to VCN, you understand? I tell them to start to the end of the reggae chain, and you don't know so we drop that.
Enough rising achievers. Not only notice that rising achievers is like based on people that came up from poor, humble upbringing into stardom. Today is not the case. Today we are blessed to be in the presence of an artist of superb talent, an artist that is doing well in the industry, an artist well on the way to big superstar, an artist that was born Sean Paul Enriquez, but the world know him as Sean Paul. Though Sean Paul grew up in the Upper Norbrook area, the uptown community of St. Andrew, it's not normal to see a DJ of this magnitude coming from such a middle-class neighborhood, because, you know, most of the artists that grew up poor and poverty-stricken come from the ghetto in the inner city. But Sean is somewhat different. Sean is an artist of superb talent, an artist that is doing very, very well, an artist that has a lot of plans up. I'm going to be spending this 45 minutes talking with him, get to know him a little bit more, because you see them most of the time on stage on a lot of big shows. They never get a chance to really know the inner Sean Paul. So Rising Achiever is blessed to have him in our studios. And we'll be right back to speak to none other than Sean Paul. Rising Achiever, Big Stone, your host, and I'm here at Jade's Promotion 75 Dunbar Avenue in Kingston by, you know, that's Sean Paul publicists and booking agents. That's where we are. You've heard of tunes like Hot Girl, Infiltrate, Nah Get No Blind, and you've heard of serious Sean Paul, tuning out with superb melody and superb lyrics. But we're going to chat one-on-one now with Sean and tell a little bit more about Sean Paul, the man. Sean Paul, welcome to Rising Achiever with my respect, with love, respect. I've seen your career float from mid to high, now it's at the top. How you feel these days, Sean?
Well, straight up, just give thanks to all who support. As I said in the beginning, for real, I'm not the typical dancehall DJ, and you know sometimes it's hard to break in a stream where there's usually a trend, and the trend is that you know it was mainly people that were in inner city community, and I am not one of that. But to tell the real truth, just to give that, yeah, as I hear people say all the time, and it's like, I wouldn't believe that this would happen to me back in the day, you know what I mean? And so we give thanks straight up to all fans, to all people who support reggae music, dancehall, and everything like that, because you can really see now it is the voice of Jamaica, like Bujo was telling us back in '94, and I represent a section of Jamaica too, so we're proud to fly a flag for reggae and inspire.
Well spoken. Sean, my first time actually seeing you on stage was, I think it was a Sting performance, right? There was this young, vibrant brother, all decked out in a suit. And I'm saying to myself, I mean, people say, boy, Sean Paul hat and Sean Paul this and Sean Paul that. But Big Stone had to find out for himself who this Sean Paul is. And touch me. Sean Paul, it was a night of pure niceness. Your aura you come across on the stage was superb. Lyrically, you have the place mashed and flat. I think you get about 4 power that night. And I'm saying to myself, oh, it's uptown, because in movements is downtown, in lyrical contest is on par with any DJ from downtown. So, really uptown, because, you know, we're built in.
Blood, it's like as a youth, you listen to the radio and you grow up with reggae music all around, you know what I mean? So but music that dance as a teenager, young teenager, well, top line, front line, you know. So I started off at
Lantern Bridge?
No, out Wellington in
Osalia?
Yeah, Osalia.
Okay.
So we used to frequent them praise on the weekends with brethren, and you know, it just come out to be something that is in me. I can't tell. In school, we used to bang on the desk as you used to bang, you know, the usual chant to the man, you know, every man put in 2 lyrics and rap, and I was, yeah, there was more enjoyment at the time, you know. So I learned expression from my country people, I mean, I grow, I'm born, and I grow here, so it's around me, you know what I mean? But I just learn to express myself that way the most, because usually as a youth, I was a quiet kid, and people used to have them own opinion, like back in the day about this and that, or the government do, or this and that, or this girl, or, you know what I mean? I'm usually keep quiet to myself because I feel like my idea then was a little different to the way people stay, so I don't want to change, I don't want to say them thing there, and it was a way of self-expression, so when I feel I bring a new side of the kind to the game.
I know you're a high school graduate. I read your bio. I know you was also in the banking business.
Yeah.
Tell us the transformation from banking to DJing.
It's a simple thing like life is movement, you know what I mean? You have to try to move in life, you can't be stagnant. And as a youth coming out of school, I never at the time had a plan or had any backing then to go to school abroad. There was a school out here, University of Technology, which I could have gotten into due to my grades and due to certain vibes. UTech was the best place for me to look forward to go to.
So what were you studying at UTech?
No, I did a year at the bank basically because I was out of school and needed money. I need money and you need for go outside. I need for do certain thing them. So it is spread from there and then to bigger things, you know what I mean? I was thinking about needing an education. I wanted to do marketing, but I got into school to the hotel management, and that was a 3-year course.
Okay.
So what I tried to show to who listening then is that, yo, nobody stop. You see me, because you might have a dream as a kid, say, yo, you want to be Mr. Say, fireman or whatever, you know what I mean? It end up in a life that this youth who want to do marketing, which is advertisement and that kind of thing, turn out to be a DJ and not well at that point. So I never really have the full plan of that. I know I could do it naturally, and I could be, you know, a figure that somebody would look on and say, yeah, you know, a role model. But it's something where just grow into, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's just for everybody to grow into that, but what I try to put across is that, you know, don't feel say your life is stuck or where you feel it is or where people say you there. Because as I said, I'm an uptown youth who was studying to do hotel management, and basically when the dancehall music try to live in blood, you know what I mean?
Alright, I know when you started out slamming the desk at school, you have a lot of fans there. But did you ever dream that it would boils up to that? And I want you to kind of explain to your fans out there your first attempt at DJing. Because I know you was in school studying marketing. So people had wanted up the first attempt, Sean. And this is for the record now, Sean Paul, first attempt at DJing and the first song. What's the name of it?
I can't remember in school. This is just first times DJing when the youth then get around now, and after we don't give certain amount of trouble to the teacher, they were and certain vibes. And
so you was a normal kid then, Sean?
Yeah, man, when I released, like we're sitting in a maths class for 3 hours, and I said, you know it, right, and someone start beat on this and say, if I said, right now, if they want to get her in, well, give her response. We never tell him to go drop it. And them a DJ, other people think they like big DJ at the time. But everyone put in a 2 lyrics and say, right, and and you see me? Some of my first tune I write, full length show was in 1994, a tune called Get Off Story, because at the time, I was looking towards a lot of things happening when I was like, at that time, what they just happened was grand spade when 19 youth get locked up in a cell
and suffocate.
Yeah, suffocate. 3 more. Three youth was going to give something to them society. You know what I mean? So those things that affect me and the crime that was going on and violence at the time. I was thinking about as a writer trying to reflect a positive vibes instead of half people go back into 1981 election and that kind of vibe. So I never wanted to see them kind of thing they return. So most of my writing and my lyrics at the time was about, you know, the first song I ever write, it named Get a Story. Go, it is an alarm, this is the ghetto story. Read about it in the Star and watch it on TV. It's an alarm, this is the ghetto story. Then read about it in the movie, watch it on TV. Isn't it? That's a boy. Oh, dog. That's an like people are really so. The people who made it come from them was that, you know, they were really in touch with Get a Life and things, and I was saying things like, Mama, she about so she well hungry. She only have enough money to feed the picking. She sell Steve and Johnny to go find them daddy. But daddy him joke and freak him up for what the road and beg full money. While the rich one uptown and deal in the West Coast, it's a scenario. It's not really my life or somebody who life that me didn't know. It was a scenario of what happens sometimes in a society like that. So in a society like we have here. So most of my songs was to that level at the time, talking about world peace, talking about the politics friction is what we used to call it, because at the time what I see a lot of the war and fight, especially even also it's caused by friction due to politics. And so most of my writing was about that at the time. I went around to a couple big producers that was producing big DJs at the time, like Bojo and I was Beanie and Bunty, and certain youth who was already up at the headliners of them. So it was a burning inside me to say certain things. And most of the producers say right now, they never really see this image of me of to be as on a DJ.
Like getting more like an uptown middle class.
Yes, I never.
So we believe the words are about to about actually exactly.
So so I have to switch up a lot of them was saying, you know, some girl tune to see I want you do some girl tune, and some first girl tune we write named Baby Girl. Baby girl, don't cry no more. But I still have a conscious vibe come on and say, don't cry no more. Tell me say you can't take the pain no longer. That's the way that boy for sure. You see me, I say, him should have never kick and beat you. That's what I'm saying in that song, you know what I mean? Cause to me it was against violence against women, like right now what the Taliban is still continuing to do. Yeah, so
I want to do this all up for a minute. We're gonna go to a commercial, but we're here at the Jade Angel Estate.
it's how to book it.
Jade Booking Agency, as Sean says, at 75 Dumbarton Avenue, right? That's Sean's place of business.
And around VCN, you know,
Talking with Sean Paul, you know, I just took around. We soon come back in now because we're gonna get more in depth with Sean, find out what it was like as a producer, see him as an up-owner, and then how he became so prominent in the business that they're now looking for him as an up-owner. We'll be right back.
True.
Welcome again to Jade Booking Agency. We're here with the superstar Sean Paul, taking the time out of his busy schedule to chat to you, youth and youth, so you can see how he did it his way. Sean, now you did your first tune, right? People start, Baby Girl, people start recognizing you, right? The banking still existed. But tell me how you got accepted now into mainstream music with producers now coming to look for you instead of you looking for producers.
Around 1995, 96, when the time when I was developing these new type of songs, to show to producers to go to them and say, you know, as demos. There was a young producer named Jeremy Harding who had just come back from Canada, and basically he was over there in the hip hop scene in Canada, trying to do producing for hip hop artists and certain vibes. Because he was in school over there, and that is what he was doing. He was on a radio show. When he come back now to Jamaica now, set up a little studio and started running dubs. So me and my crew, as a lot of people know them as Dirty Cup crew, big up Corrupt, Logan Man, Massive, you don't know Chicken, yeah, all the five, Daddy got straight up. These couple youth who I mentioned a while ago are the youths who we did start going up to that studio, hard sound studio, as Jeremy Harding and said, you know, I want to do some dub for Renaissance, so we have some lyrics there, and them say, alright, I want to do some dub for my brother's son, Copper Shot, and you know, we start to do little bits of work there. Now people start hearing that little vibes, and it was like a little buzz then in Germany years about us. So I'm saying, yeah,
But it was a crew, you was associated with a crew then?
Basically, yeah, at that time was just a bunch of youth up there doing dubs and stuff, and we just said, alright, we're although Champion Barbecue and the DJ, I call myself, and I'm saying, we're gonna name the crew, we're gonna name Dirty Cup crew, and I'm saying, alright, because it was a bunch of youth who lived in Sandy Park at first, who was the Dirty Cup crew, who Belgan was living in Sandy Park, and basically the man them bestowed the name onto the eye. So basically we start use it up and said, we name Dirty Cup and One Bag of Thing. So people start listening and say, oh, they need up on the dog. What the name Sean Paul Dirty Cup, One Bag of Thing. And so General Hardy now get a buzz and say, alright, and build a rhythm called Fearless, which was his first rhythm for Jamaican dancehall thing. And basically Elephant Man and our Toddler came on it, and there was a Rounded on it, there was a General B on it, and there was a young DJ named Sean Paul on it. Yeah, the baby girl. And when it actually busted out to the scene, enough people like Steal it and big producers, stalwart the business who was there, who helped to make this business what it is. Sly, Steal it, Tony Kelly, Penthouse Recordings, them people that were mentioned now, those were people that I used to go around to and then hear that song Baby Girl and say, but that you tell me come out to me and so anytime them see me on the street again, yo, I've heard him for you, and that's basically where it kick off from, because I realized at the time now that I change up my lyrics from the conscious, fully serious vibes to I'm more about talking about girls and relating that way. So when the girls them see pictures of the idol, it was a different, and some fella you was a different case. Yeah, so it just grow from there, brother. It grow from there where I'm still have to give thanks to all who saw what was
Potential.
the potential there.
All right, Sean. Now, remember you started out still humble, like wine in the business. You was a bank teller, and DJing is what you want. How do you felt when you got your first paycheck now from something that you really want to do? Because it makes a whole lot of difference when you're doing it for free, and when you know somebody book it for a show.
All right. I'm not telling you the history, but it I don't want the youth them who watch the program feel say you have to do what you would get the first paycheck. That's all. It come years after that, it come a while after order. The first paycheck in terms of not out money. But you see when me and Bridget drive out Elsha in the week, once a Friday, or was a Saturday, was a weekend. And me and girl first play on the radio. Sorry, the Renaissance first played for me. I said right now the youth are gonna shop the world. His name Sean Paul. Boom. That to me, that's what I feel it up. We look out for the sea and I said, I know imagine that this can really happen more and more.
Yeah, to that great. I was bigger than any paycheck and the man put it on.
Yeah, at the time, being something that for me. So that was the first vibes. Other than that, now when the first them same said now Renaissance was the first people to step with to Miami to do a show.
Open.
I have to tell the truth, dog. When you get my first money, me go back in the hotel room where I was me, and put it on the girl, and like picture it, I still watch some money there. I couldn't believe that, you know what I mean? Because I was working on bank for a year, and that kind of money never did come, so, you know what I mean? So it really shocked me, it really was a blessing, and that was about a year after doing the tour, so it took a time. I'm thinking about it. It was a great feeling, very true.
You know what's striking me about you, though, Sean? Straight up talk in front of you. You strike me as an on stage, you're aggressive, but you strike me as a more modest person, a more laid back person that doesn't let material things get in your way. You know, you're like more in touch with reality, and you're like, you take me for the star that you are.
Straight up something that a lot of people probably never know. As a youngster, my pops know. Went to prison for 6 years of my life when I was 14 till I was 19, about them years. So my mom grew me up, and I wouldn't say it was a poor family as I said before, but hard times at that time, any hard time helped you to learn. Remember that. So it helped you to grow, and it helped you to in the long run be a better person, because you're not going to give somebody more than they can bear.
But it's easy to connect and caught up with the hype. You know, some artists, we're not calling them in here, have 2 or 1 tunes that are the rhythm. They think they're the biggest thing. Their whole attitude changed and everything. Not so with you.
Because to tell the truth, that first thing that I was telling you about is an they say that get a story. That is where my mind come from. That is where I come from, where I was thinking of the average ghetto kid with sympathy and saying, I don't want to see that in my country no more, isn't it? And I was sympathetic towards the vibe, because I definitely don't come from there, and me facing my little hard times as in terms of a little money flow problem and a little this and that, and not being able to do certain things when Bridget was doing as to be hype and them something that it really made me to be a real person, to know that that's not really life still. Isn't it? That is not real life. So when these things is coming out, when the rich is coming out right now, I'm gonna get my car, I'm gonna buy, you know what I mean? Certain things, and it don't really mean not to me to tell the truth. In the lotto run, we're glad with us, we give thanks. Said people can just look on the youth music and say the youth music good and straight up. That is more of the paycheck to me. And we're glad to can make money. We're not telling life. It is a blessing, of course. So, but me is not hype in that term. We don't need to be that way. The guy come like it's, you know what I mean? Because like a spit from people's face for him.
The first major performance in Jamaica would be what?
I was going to say Sting.
Sting would be your first, that big performance I saw.
Sting was the first we were performance.
What was it like for you?
Very, 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 very exciting. You know what I mean?
Represent Sean Paul. Take it from that moment.
Definitely, your heart is pounding, sweat, you know, your palm feel like the sousaphone like a drop out. You feel like, yeah, when we run come on the stage now, what these couple thousand people are really expect from me, will they be hanging on my head a word? That's the kind of vibe. Right now, you don't really think about that. You know what I mean? You've got it. You never really talk about Shad and you're also name. But then I also name. The old here was there first. That moment I just thought about when them say Sean Paul, I mean, hear the people are screaming, I mean, Chad, or this is it now. One of like, yeah. So it's not like, you know, it's not like there's certain time in your life when you're a youngster probably you just say, you know, more of this and that, and when it comes out to the time doing it, you say, boy, that's not free and we're allowed. Because it's too heavy, but it was the time to step up and I say, yo, this is the time now for real. I'm going to go up on the stage and do what I have to do, so, you know, definitely I feel enough elation, I feel enough happiness, I feel enough joy, you know, saying. The little you want me to do, actually make a mark, you know what I mean?
We're talking with Sean Paul one-on-one, Big Stone and Sean. You see how soft-spoken he is, but it's a lot of energy, because when I saw him, I was thinking for first bag, there was just all energy right across the stage, up and down, and the suits flying, and pure niceness and vibes on the stage. When we come back, we're going to talk about his first experience outside of Jamaica as a recording artist, as a prominent new artist on the scene. We'll talk to Sean Paul, Better Cost, and you come back and stay tuned.